Welcome back to FM Story. We're approaching the midway point of season 9 of this save where we try to end the dominance of Rangers and Celtic, and this season is going outstandingly well. We're currently top of the table. We've scored over 50 goals in 14 league games this season, and we've made it to yet another League Cup final. So without further ado, let's get into the action. We've made it to the League Cup final, and unfortunately we've still got all those players away at the African Cup of Nations. Things have started well in this episode. Since the end of the last episode, we've continued on a great run and even managed to pick up a surprise result as well. We started with a 2-0 victory away at Queen's Park. We got a couple of early goals and then weren't really under any threat throughout the rest of the game. Kilmarnock at home, we were 4-0 up at half-time, ended up hammering them 5-1. And then the surprise result, Champions League against PSG, bearing in mind that they hammered us 4-1 at a neutral venue in the Super Cup at the start of the season. We went in 1-0 down at half-time, thanks to a goal by Kylian Mbappe. That was pretty much his last touch of the game because they took him off at half-time and brought Kvaratskhelia on. And then in the second half, we somehow produced a performance, especially when you consider we've got McKenna in goal and we've got the young Argentinian centre-back in because Elise is away. But we managed to come away with a 3-1 victory. And as far as the Champions League is concerned, that pushes up into the top 8 with 12 points from 6 games. We've got 2 away games left against Porto and Standard. Porto are around the top 8. Standard won't be an easy game either, but hopefully that can see us at least make it into the top 24. We should really do that from where we are now and qualify for the knockout stages. And then as far as the league's concerned, we're currently top. We've got a game in hand on Celtic. We're 6 points clear of them. We've got still the top 3 average ratings. We've got the top 2 goal scorers. Casanova's got 15 in the league. Mikel's got 12. We've got 2 of the joint top 3 assists. We are flying. We've got a plus 50 goal difference after 16 games. And we've so far scored 62 goals in those 16 games. But that league form doesn't really matter at this stage now. We're going into the League Cup final. And hopefully we can get one over on Rangers because we've lost at least 2 League Cup finals to them. So hopefully we can put in a performance like we did in the league where we managed to beat them 7-2 and come away with another trophy. So this is the team we've picked to go into the final. We said earlier on in the season that European-wise and games against Rangers and Celtic, we were probably going to go with the 4-3-3 rather than the 4-2-4. We've gone with the 4-2-4 for this game, largely because when we played them in the league and beat them 7-2, we were 2-0 down, switched to the 4-2-4 and immediately it changed and we created chances. So we're hoping that can have an impact, especially because with us missing some key defensive players. I think we might need to score a few more goals. Danny Smith's back from injury, finally ready to start a game. We're struggling on the left-hand side. Laterna picked up an injury and Deli Basic got sent off in the semi-final, so he's suspended. So Ibrahimovic is going to play off the left, Kerr off the right, Mikel and Casanova through the middle, and hopefully we've got enough goals to pick up another trophy. So we're going with that 4-2-4. They're going with the 4-4-2. So hopefully it we shouldn't be a player short in the midfield or anything like that. Right, early free kick, Ibrahimovic to the back post, headed clear as far as Dimov, drives past the defender. Ibrahimovic, massive deflection on that one. but that is the perfect start. Less than 2 minutes on the clock, and we've taken the lead. The header came out. Dimov then drove past his man, got to the byline, pulled it back. They half clear it. Ibrahimovic hits it, hits the defender on the head, flies past the keeper, and we're 1-0 up already. Right, Smith with the throw, short to Medina, into Mikul, tries to work a shooting, comes back to Dimov. Another massive deflection, but we'll take it. 2-0 up in under 6 minutes. 2 massively deflected goals, but they've got in the back of the net. That's all that matters. Medina played it into Mikul, tried to work a shooting opportunity. It got deflected to Ibrahimovic, lays it off to Dimov, and it's deflected right in front of the keeper, and he gave him no chance. Right, first sign of them attacking. Cross. They've passed it into the box, and luckily, I mean, if that was on target, it was in, because McKenna was nowhere near that side of the goal. Right, corner, Ibrahimovic to swing it in. Casanova's beaten in the air. They've managed to clear it as far as Danny Smith. Finds Medina. Dimov, back to Medina. And then we've been caught on the ball. And they're breaking. Medina wins it back, but only as far as Smith Rowe. Now, first sign of them really bombing forward. Great save by McKenna. And we've managed to scramble it clear. Right, another corner for us. Ibrahimovic over on the left to take it. Goes short. Dimov dinks across up. Casanova's header cannons into the crossbar and goes over. From the resulting goal kick, they go long. Medina nicks it off Cassidy. It eventually comes through to Casanova. Plays it into Rodriguez in the box, who dinks a cross up. Medina's header in off the underside of the bar. 3-0 up before half time. And it's looking like it's going to be our day today. Casanova does well to hold it up until the support gets there. He plays it into the box to Rodriguez, who just dinks a cross in. And Medina's header off the woodwork into the back of the net. Now, straight from the kickoff, are they going to get back into it? Silva into Araujo. Dubate loses out to Ibrahimovic. Medina moves it on to Mikul. Smith with space to move into down this right hand side. Crosses towards the back post. Ibrahimovic. 2 goals in a minute, and that's 4-0 up before half time. Surely the trophy is ours. Smith in his first start since his injury, just bombing down that right hand side, eventually just lifts across to the far post. The keeper comes for it, gets nowhere near it, and a simple header for Ibrahimovic at the back post. Alright, Smith with a throw. Kerr. Hideroa goes back to McKenna. Back to Hideroa. Smith on to Kerr, who's been quite quiet in this game. He loses out to Fran Garcia. It goes back to their keeper, who just lumps it forward. Hideroa takes it down. Into Medina. Dimov with space to move into down that left-hand side. Into Rodriguez. Mikul. Dimov still got it. Finds Ibrahimovic. And he hits the bar. And there we are, half-time, 4-0 up. It could not have gone much better than that. Just need to make sure we don't do anything ridiculously stupid in the second half, and the trophy's coming home. All right, Medina nicks the ball back. Oh, lovely ball out to the right-hand side to Smith. Bringing it forward down the line to Kerr, who had a quiet first half. Cuts inside onto his left foot. Then turns back and then somehow beats the keeper at the near post. That's 5-0. That's surely game over. And I think it's probably time for us to get some tired bodies off the pitch. Smith down the line. Kerr cuts inside as if he's going to hit it on his left foot, turns the defender inside out, and then just whips it in at that near post past the keeper for 5-0. I think they must have given up on the game. They're certainly not trying to chase forward to get some goals back. I mean, it is 5-0 with less than 15 minutes left, so I can kind of understand that. The interesting thing is there's not that much of a gap between the XG. We've got an XG of 3.18. They've got an XG of 2.3, yet we're winning 5-0 into injury time. And there we are, full time, 5-0. A measure of revenge for the couple of League Cup finals we've lost to Rangers in recent seasons. But another trophy. Always good to keep them going, keep them coming in. And now gives us a chance to focus on the league for a few weeks before the Champions League comes back and before the Scottish Cup starts. And hopefully we can continue pushing on at this level that we've shown so far this season. We've made it through to the end of January, and it's been an eventful time since the League Cup final. It's certainly in the transfer market. It's certainly been a turbulent time. In terms of transfers, we've actually sold off quite a few players who weren't in the first team picture anymore, were complaining about not playing. We'd already done a deal in the summer that Darko Seymour was going back to Chile to Colo Colo, so that became a deal that was done once the transfer window opened there. We sold Amane Romeo once he came back from the African Cup of Nations. And then we had a bit of a problem at left back. Both of our left backs were complaining that they weren't playing enough games. I can understand Matsson's feelings, so he went to Nottingham Forest, but Jonko Dimov at that point had started 24 out of 31 games, and that wasn't enough first team football for him, so he got moved on. Geza Toure, we signed in the very first season of the Save, and if we're being honest, although he was captain, his time in the team had come and gone. And San Martin and Fleck came back from the loan spells, and both have gone back out again on loan for the second half of the season. And all we've done in the transfer market is basically we've replaced the two left backs. The first incoming was Santiago Salamanca, Colombian left back from Junior. He was really signed to act as a backup. Initially, it was going to be a backup to Dimov. And then when Dimov decided he didn't want to be with us and he wanted to go, and he was complaining despite the fact that he'd played nearly every game, we then went and picked up Santos, a 23-year-old Brazilian, was transfer listed at Newcastle. So we've picked him up and he has started pretty well for us. So hopefully that can continue. I think actually he's probably a better player at this stage than Dimov was. Dimov's a bit younger and potentially could have developed into a better player. But I think we're pretty satisfied with the squad we've got for the second half of the season. And then in terms of the games since the League Cup final, we've won every single one. We started with a not a great performance, but we beat Dundee United 1-0 at home. We beat Ross County 3-0 away from home. We dismantled Hearts 6-1 at home with a hat-trick for Turner. Dunfermline we beat 2-0 away from home. We had a bit of a better performance against Dundee United in the Scottish Cup, although it did take a couple of late goals to really secure the victory. And then in the Champions League, we went away to Porto, beat them 2-1. We weren't great in the first half, much better in the second half. 2 goals from Kevin Meikle, securing the victory. We then beat Hibs 4-1 at home. And then going into the last game of the Champions League phase, we needed just a point to guarantee that we'd finish in the top 8 and miss the knockout playoff round. We were playing Standard, who actually were a position below us in the table, and we did the job that we needed to do. We were 4-0 up at half time. We won 4-1, and that saw us through to the top 8. So we finished in 3rd in the Champions League, level on points with Real Madrid. We did concede quite a few goals in the league phase, and we conceded 14, but we did score 23. But whoever we get, I think we're going to have a tough draw in the last 16. I mean, Bayern Munich, Man United, Leipzig, Sociedad, RB Salzburg, Monaco, Porto, Inter, Benfica, Chelsea, Nice, Milan, Juventus, Napoli, all tough potential opponents come the round of 16. Then as far as the league's concerned, things have continued going exceptionally well. We're currently 10 points clear of Rangers, having played a game less, and we are 14 points clear of Celtic, having played one game more, and they're level on points with Dundee, who we've played 2 games less than. So we're in a really strong position for the end of the season. We've got a game coming up next against Celtic, which will be a big one. I mean, if we can pick up a victory in that game, then we're going to go a long way towards installing ourselves as big favourites for the title this season. So hopefully we can pick up a result and get on with the rest of the season and bring another trophy. This is the side we're going into the game against Celtic with. Pretty much we don't have anyone missing really. We are going with the 4-3-3. Just hopefully, especially with it being an away game against them, hopefully keep it tight, stop them from opening us up too much, and hopefully we've still got enough firepower to get a result. We do have the options to change to the 4-2-4 on the bench if we need it. So let's see what happens. They're going in with a 4-2-3-1. Not much happening early on in this game. They've had most of the possession, but they haven't had a shot yet. Very little happening at all in this game. We've not had a single highlight yet. Right, corner for us. Klemenko swings it in, and Casanova's flicked header just drifts wide of the far post. Right, throwing for them deep into injury time here. They've got the ball to the byline, pulled it back to the edge of the box, but we managed to get a foot on it. They've still got it. Kapukas, we've won it back from them. But all we're doing is just clearing it straight to their place, but they've given the ball away. Kerr driving forward into the box, and then that was a bit, the keeper made a meal of it, but it was a pretty straightforward shot to save. And that's half time, 0-0. Pretty dire first half from both teams. We certainly need to be a lot better in the second half. So half time, we've taken the opportunity to change the formation up. We've brought a couple of fresh legs on as well, because Laterna and Danny Smith were struggling fitness-wise. And we've shoved Kevin Meikle up front with Casanova. Right, McAllister with a throw. They've got it back though. We've gone back to the keeper, who only clears it as far as Santos. Klemenko goes back to Hidaroa. Santos down the left-hand side. Can we get a cross in? He finds Deli Basic, who pulls it back. And a simple tap in for Meikle. And that's 1-0. And a very big goal as far as the rest of the season and potentially the title are concerned. Santos down the left-hand side just slides it for Deli Basic, who just pulls it across. And Meikle basically couldn't miss from there. Right, a throw for them deep in our half. We've got space for Domina. Goes back out wide. Cross comes in towards the back post. Skamaka scores. I don't think this is getting disallowed. We should have defended much better. Keeper should have been much stronger. And that's a 1-1. I thought Domino was going to take a shot there. They worked it back to him and he just lifts it into the middle of the box, and Skamaka with basically a free header, and the keeper didn't get close to it. Nah, it was clearly onside. Right, from the kickoff, we've gone back wide to Santos. It's gone down the line to Ibrahimovic. Back to Hidaroa. We've given the ball away and we are in deep trouble here. They're pouring forward. McAllister wins it. Goes straight to their fullback. And now they come back at us again. Back to the keeper. Right, we are all over the place here. Luckily, Zebra got back and across to that to turn it behind. From the corner. In swinger on the left foot, headed up in the air by Elise. And it gets deflected behind for another corner. And there we go, disappointing result. We basically threw that away at the end there. And if anything, they probably could have got a winner. I suppose in the grand scheme of things, a draw. I mean, it keeps us where we are at the top of the table. They've not cut the gap on us. The next league game is a big one against Rangers. I think that's the last time we played both Rangers and Celtic before the split. So hopefully then after that we can start building the form again. We've got a couple of days left of the January transfer window. I don't think we're going to do much work, not much business. You never know if we get a stupid offer from one of our players. We might go in and get a replacement, but unlikely to do anything, I would think. And there we are, the end of another episode, and things are going exceptionally well still. We didn't do any more business in the transfer window. We did get an offer, well, a couple of offers from Rangers for Danny Smith. Quite cheeky offers as well. We turned down an offer of 35 million in the summer for him from Man United, at which point we agreed with him that if someone came in with 63 million, he could go. Rangers offers topped out at 31.5 million. He didn't want to go either. So, yeah, not quite sure what they were trying to do there. We actually spent quite a bit of money in the January transfer window because of the signing of Santos. We did sell a lot of players, so the squad's not as big, which actually probably helps because it means we're not going to have the problem we had last season in the Europa League, where we had players who we thought we were selling in January who got angry that they weren't in the Europa League squad because we had too many players to be able to fit them in. So we're not going to have that problem in the second half of the season with the Champions League. Obviously, we've got the knockout stage of the Champions League coming up. We're still in the Scottish Cup and we are well clear at the top of the table. So hopefully we can push on. And in the next episode, hopefully we'll continue our progress in the Scottish Cup and the Champions League. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.